Hey guys, Jeremy here with Simple Life, and welcome to installment number 32 of Viewers Knives. These are all knives that are made by you guys, the viewers of this channel. I thank you so much for sending your pictures in. It's a great honor for me just to be able to see those knives and then to be able to share them with others. It's just so fascinating to see, the different ways that you guys are going about making knives, the different techniques and materials you're using. Truly inspirational, so let's get started. The first knife we'll look at is sent to me from Matthew. He's a 17-year-old knife maker from Tennessee, and he uses 01 tool steel to make all of his knives. The wood that he prefers to use is a Purple Heart or maple, and he does all of these things with fairly moderate power tools. He's got a drill press, a 4x36 belt sander, and then an angle grinder, and that's pretty much the tools that he uses to make these blades. I think these look really, really nice. I like the shape of them. The handles look super comfortable, and I think this is just excellent work. Matthew, thank you for sharing this with us. Also, I'll put a link to Matthew's Instagram in the description below. These next two knives we'll look at are sent to me from Ethan, and he makes his knives. He puts the bevels on there with his filing jig. You can see he sent this video of him filing away, working away at his knives, and I think these knives look fantastic. This first one here, he uses Turkish oak for the scales. Really nice looking blade there. And then the second one, the wood is called Australian Red Mallee. I don't know if I said that right, but really, really great looking blades. Nice wood grain in these handles that you've put together, and these are absolutely fantastic. Ethan would like to make a business of making knives, so Ethan, I wish you much luck on that. Keep up the hard work. You're doing fantastic. Next, we have a 16-year-old knife maker, Owen, and he's been making knives for about a year, and this is the most recent blade that he's finished. The steel he used for this is 1080, and he did a cold blue treatment on it. I think that looks really cool. And then a black micarta for the scales. Owen, fantastic work. Keep it up. Next up, we've got these two knives from Durden. He is a 58-year-old knife maker, and he actually made knives back in the 80s, before it was all the craze, and he's just getting back into it, so that is really, really cool to see. This first one is from 01 Tool Steel. I think it's a great looking blade, nice profile on there, and this next one is actually 1095 steel. Nice size there, incredible polish, nice bolster on there. Very, very great work. Durden, so glad that you're getting back into knife making, and it's really cool to see, that cycle where you did it and then you stopped and you're coming back into it. Oh, what a lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying it. These knives look fantastic, and I thank you for sharing them. This knife is the third knife that Jason has completed, and he actually made this one for a giveaway on his Instagram account. He's been learning blacksmithing and knife making for about 8 months now, and he's just slowly working on getting more equipment and more practice in. Currently, he lives in Huntington Beach, California. He'd like to move to Hawaii in a couple of years, but this is a fantastic looking blade. I really like the nice sweep of the belly there. Appears to be made from an old file, and just excellent work. Also, I'll put a link to his Instagram in the description below. Really, really great stuff you're doing, Jason. Thank you for sending this in. Alright, these next knives are sent to me from Jordan, and a really cool story about how Jordan got into making knives. He's actually a wildlife science major, and the work that he does in the summer times, it takes him to incredibly remote areas where he does data collection. He was living in a trailer, and when he'd be done his data collection, sometimes he'd have to wait there, and there's really nothing to do, so he thought, I'm going to get into spoon carving. Now, the one issue he had is he was left-handed, and it was hard to find a left-handed spoon carving knife, so he thought, I'm going to make my own, and that's how he got into knife making. So he started making knives, and one thing kind of led to another, and then next thing you know, he started forging, and he ended up getting a really great deal on a little power hammer and started making his own Damascus. Really, really nice looking blades he's made here, and some of his Damascus samples, just fantastic work. And the funny thing here, he says in his email that he's actually yet to carve a spoon. So the thing that he'd wanted to get into was spoon carving, and he was going to make a tool for that, and it turned into knife making. So that is a really, really cool story. Keep up the excellent work. And Jordan, thank you so much for sharing these with us. We are going to head to the Netherlands now, and Patrick is a 30-year-old. He's actually a chef, and he thought it would be really cool to make his own knives, and then he has a lot of friends that are into bushcrafting and stuff, and he thought, I could make knives for them as well. He said that he was hooked the very first time he made a knife-shaped object, and that's true. Once you do your first one, it's kind of like, maybe I can do this, maybe this is going to be something that I can do, and he's certainly found that to be true. Some great looking blades here. He actually made his own 2x72 grinder, and it's powered by a Makita angle grinder, so that's really cool. I'd like to see what that looks like, but very, very nice work here you're doing, Patrick. Keep it up. Also, I'll put a link to his Instagram in the description below. Be sure to go check that out. Let's head from the Netherlands to Florida. Jason has been making knives for about a year and a half, and he's actually a law enforcement officer. So first of all, Jason, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for what you do for us. I really appreciate the work that you do. This knife here is the Warfighter TBL series, and TBL stands for thin blue line. I'm sure many of you have heard that and you know what that's all about. And really great looking blade here. He's acid etched it in ferric chloride and he hand filed those scales, and I think that looks incredible. Really nice texture. Looks like it would really work well in the hand, and just excellent looking blade. Jason, thank you so much for sending this in. Okay, let's jump from Florida all the way across the United States to Lyndon, Washington. Paul is a plumber by trade. He works in the public works sector, and he really enjoys knife making. He's just started to get into it. These knives he's made from discarded demolition saw blades that they threw away at work, and he's done all the heat treating on them, and pretty much everything is done by hand, with the exception of the rough shaping, which he does with an angle grinder. His SFE maker's mark stands for Stone and File Edge Works, because that's pretty much how he does it. And he says the one thing he likes about using these hand tools is it really teaches him patience, and you'll have a whole level of appreciation once he jumps up to power tools for making his knives. I think these look absolutely fantastic. Really nice attention to detail, and what a lot of work you've done putting these together, doing it all with the hand tools. Keep up the great work, Paul, and thank you for your great email. Alright, we're going to wrap up this edition of Viewers Knives by taking a look at some blades from Eric. And Eric is from Queen Creek, Arizona. He's been blacksmithing and knife making for about 2 years. He's going to be putting a pause on his knife making soon to focus strictly on Damascus and axe making. So that's really cool. That's a very cool progression there, Eric. These are great looking blades. This cleaver is forged 01 tool steel, copper pins and liners, and curly maple for the scales. The Big Hunter is forged 01 with a tapered tang, brass pins and liners, and walnut wood for the scales. This Medium Hunter is forged 01 with brass pins and liners, Brazilian tiger wood. Really great looking blade. This Small Skinner, again forged 01 tool steel, full convex grind with brass pins and liner, and walnut for the scales. And this Barbecue Chef knife is forged 01 with brass pins and Jatoba. Really nice looking blades here. Very nicely done, Eric. I'll put a link to Eric's Instagram in the description below. Be sure to go check that out. And also, Eric is a Patreon supporter, so thank you so much for your support, Eric. I really do appreciate that. And as such, one of the perks about being a Patreon supporter is that your email gets bumped right up to the top of the list, just as a way that I can say thank you for supporting the channel and helping me create this content. So, and thank you to everybody who sent your knives in to be featured. I really do appreciate it. I'm very grateful for this opportunity that I have to, first of all, see your work, and second of all, share your work. It's so inspiring, and I'm sure you guys enjoy having your work in front of other people, and this is just a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this segment here, so thank you so much. If you'd like to have your knife featured on this channel, just email me, jeremy@homesteadknives.com. Send me some pictures, maybe a little information on yourself, where you're from, your age, if you'd like to. If you don't, that's totally cool too. Just really cool to see what you guys are doing. Be sure to leave a comment down below to show your encouragement and your respect for these makers. You know, when you see people making knives by hand, it takes an incredible amount of dedication to make a knife by hand and see that project through. So mad props to you guys for doing this. Absolutely respect, and just fantastic work you're doing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And as always, I thank you so much for watching. Cheers.